Perhaps no animal species in existence today is surrounded by as many myths as the giant panda. Captive pandas carry a heavy burden. They play the role of all kinds of symbols, including political and economic ones. Against this backdrop, it is not often remembered how these animals behave in their natural habitat. There are big and important differences between wild pandas and their captive counterparts. Therefore, before telling the truth about these peculiar animals, it is necessary to specify which pandas we are talking about. Animals in captivity quite fit the stereotype. They are fluffy, sneezing, hilarious, indifferent to the continuation of the species, but wild pandas are a completely different matter. Forget the funny videos, take a deep breath and clear your mind of any panda knowledge you thought you had. Because most of that knowledge is probably untrue. There's no arguing with the fact that pandas get attention. In 1966, zoologist Desmond Morris compiled a list of 20 reasons why people are so interested in these animals. About half of those reasons related to appearance: flat muzzle, big eyes, rounded body shape, contrasting colors, and so on. But a cute exterior can be deceptive. It's better not to get close to a wild panda. However, even in captivity, where animals are used to constant human attention, they can pose a real danger. In 2006, a 28-year-old drunken visitor to Beijing Zoo named Zhang climbed into the panda's enclosure and tried to pet the resident panda. The adventurer tried to show off his prowess, but ended up seriously injuring his shin. You can see the pictures in this report, but the pictures are very unpleasant. Don't say we didn't warn you. Big pandas are capable of inflicting such injuries due to their anatomical features. They have a powerful skull with a so-called sagittal ridge, a bony formation running from the forehead to the back of the head. Powerful jaw muscles are attached to this ridge, and the panda is one of the leading predators in terms of biting power. It needs these strong jaws to bite through tough bamboo stems. In addition, the panda has a false thumb, an enlarged sesamoid radius, with which the animal is able to better grip bamboo stems, a complex gut microflora that aids in digestion, the willingness and readiness to spend most of its time picking, processing, and eating bamboo. Because of these characteristics, the great panda has made remarkable evolutionary advances. This predator has found a way to switch to eating bamboo, a common foodstuff in nature, the harvest of which has little dependence on the season. Also, unlike the food of most other predators, bamboo does not tend to flee. Where the panda's reputation in captivity diverges most from the realities of their wild counterparts, however, is in the realm of sex. Great pandas have a rather strange reproductive cycle. Adult females are capable of conceiving only once a year, and this phase lasts less than 2 days. This peculiarity inevitably leads to pandas breeding poorly in captivity. People interfere for some reason, believing that it is possible to arouse sexual desire in animals by showing them panda porn. Or they even try to induce ejaculation with a rectal probe. But to make fun of the small size of a panda's male dignity or the frigidity of females by saying that pandas are to blame for their own extinction is a sign of true zoological illiteracy. Man has only begun to seriously study pandas in the wild since 1980, and there is still much we don't know. Nevertheless, we know that pandas mate very differently in the wild than they do in the enclosure. One of the first scientists to observe pandas actually mating was the legendary American zoologist George Schaller. In 1981, he followed a female, nicknamed Jinjin, and 2 males, one bigger, the other smaller. The smaller male approaches, moaning, and is immediately attacked again, though I can only hear growling, roaring, and squealing like a pack of dogs fighting, and see the bamboo thickets shaking. Schaller writes in his paper The Great Wulong Pandas. It turns out that in the wild, big pandas often have sex in groups of 3 or more, which is problematic to replicate in zoo conditions. Schaller recorded that in just 3 hours, the larger male copulated with Jinjin at least 48 times. This intensity and frequency of intercourse can probably explain why pandas breed so much better in the wild than in captivity. A long-term project to study radio-collared wild pandas in the Qingling Mountains in Shaanxi Province, China, found that females consistently produce cubs every 2 years, with 60% of the cubs surviving to a year of age.